Hollywood friendships are cracking, private messages are resurfacing, and a movie battle has turned into an industry-wide storm. Why are insiders suddenly distancing themselves? Why did a major appearance vanish overnight, and what do the newly revealed conversations really mean for the future of this project? Stay until the end because the final twist changes how you'll see this entire situation. The story surrounding Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni has slowly grown from what first appeared to be a contained professional disagreement into a widely discussed topic across entertainment media, social platforms, and industry conversations. And what makes the situation especially captivating is the way new details continue to surface. Just when audiences think they understand the bigger picture, the narrative has evolved step by step, moving from quiet speculation into headline-driven coverage that now reaches far beyond the original dispute. And this expansion has created a sense of suspense that keeps viewers and readers returning for updates, wondering what could possibly happen next. Reports from entertainment outlets have described the atmosphere in Hollywood as cautious and uncertain, with sources suggesting that many people who were never directly involved in the situation are uncomfortable with how often their names appear in conversations, headlines, and speculation. This sense of unease has become part of the story itself, because it reflects how a private legal disagreement can ripple outward, touching professional networks, friendships, and public reputations in ways that few initially expect. As articles began to describe the situation as divisive and stressful for the broader industry, audiences became even more curious about how events reached this point and why so many individuals who once seemed distant from the situation are now mentioned in the same narrative. The fascination lies not only in the legal arguments, but also in the unfolding social dynamics, the professional alliances, and the subtle shifts in public perception that can happen when media attention grows day by day. One of the most intriguing aspects of the ongoing conversation is the repeated mention of industry insiders, who reportedly feel reluctant to be associated with the situation even in the most indirect way. These descriptions have fueled curiosity because they suggest a quiet tension beneath the surface of Hollywood, where relationships and reputations often play a crucial role in career opportunities and collaborations. The idea that individuals might feel hesitant to speak publicly or appear connected has created an atmosphere of mystery that audiences find difficult to ignore. It raises questions about how public narratives influence professional decisions and how the entertainment industry manages moments of controversy while continuing to produce films, shows, and events that rely on collaboration and trust. This tension has also highlighted how modern media cycles can amplify a story far beyond its original scope, especially when high-profile names are involved, and public curiosity grows stronger with each new headline. The conversation has become a case study in how quickly narratives can evolve once they enter the digital ecosystem, where discussions unfold across articles, podcasts, videos, and social media posts, all contributing to a constantly shifting picture that feels larger than any single event. At the center of this growing narrative is the idea that perception often shapes reality. In the entertainment world, public opinion, media framing, and online discourse can influence how events are interpreted even before official conclusions are reached. And this phenomenon has become increasingly visible as audiences watch the story develop in real time. Each article, interview, or report adds another layer of interpretation, creating a mosaic of perspectives that sometimes overlap and sometimes conflict, but always keep the conversation moving forward. This constant flow of information has transformed the situation into an ongoing storyline rather than a single moment in time, and viewers are drawn to the suspense of not knowing what the next chapter might bring. The sense of unpredictability is part of what makes the narrative so compelling, because it feels as though the story could shift direction at any moment, depending on news statements, legal filings, or unexpected developments. The entertainment industry has long been associated with drama on screen, but this situation reminds audiences that real-life stories can be just as complex, layered, and emotionally charged, especially when they involve well-known figures whose careers and reputations are closely followed by millions of people around the world. Another factor that has kept attention focused on the situation is the role of media coverage itself. Articles and reports have described a range of reactions, from sympathy to skepticism to cautious neutrality, reflecting the diversity of opinions that naturally emerge when a story becomes widely discussed. This range of perspectives has encouraged audiences to engage with the narrative from multiple angles, trying to understand the motivations, actions, and consequences involved, while acknowledging that many details remain unclear. The process of watching a story unfold in real time creates a sense of participation for viewers who feel as though they are witnessing history as it happens. Even though the full picture may not be visible until much later, this dynamic has become a hallmark of modern entertainment coverage, where the line between observer and participant can feel blurred as audiences analyze, discuss, and debate each new piece of information. The conversation surrounding this situation illustrates how storytelling in the digital age often happens collaboratively, with journalists, commentators, and viewers all contributing to the evolving narrative in different ways. As the story continues to expand, it also highlights the power of anticipation and suspense in maintaining public interest. Each new report raises additional questions while answering only a few, creating a cycle of curiosity that encourages audiences to keep watching for the next update. The sense that more information could emerge at any moment keeps the narrative alive and reinforces the idea that the story is still unfolding rather than reaching a conclusion. This ongoing suspense is a reminder that in the entertainment world, the journey can sometimes capture as much attention as the destination, and the process of discovery can be just as compelling as the final outcome. For now, the story remains open-ended, with audiences around the world following every development, waiting to see how the next chapter will shape the narrative and what new revelations might appear as the situation continues to evolve. As the narrative continued to expand, another layer of intrigue began to form when older recordings and past conversations resurfaced and suddenly became part of the current discussion, creating a sense that the timeline of events was stretching backward and forward at the same time. This phenomenon is increasingly common in the digital era, where information rarely disappears and where moments that once passed quietly can return to the spotlight when new context gives them renewed relevance. In this situation, the resurfacing of a recorded conversation sparked fresh debate because it introduced additional names, perspectives, and interpretations into a story that already felt complex. The recording itself became a focal point of curiosity, not because of dramatic accusations, but because of how audiences interpreted tone, context, and implication, and how those interpretations traveled quickly through online spaces, turning a previously niche discussion into a widely shared talking point. This shift demonstrated how modern storytelling is rarely linear, instead unfolding in waves, where past and present intersect to create a richer and sometimes more confusing narrative. The mention of high-profile figures within the recording drew even more attention because audiences naturally gravitate toward familiar names and try to understand how they might fit into the broader picture. Even when the comments were general or indirect, the simple presence of recognizable individuals created a ripple effect across media coverage and social discussion, highlighting how easily a story can grow once it intersects with multiple public personas. This expansion of the narrative also illustrated how celebrity culture operates within a network of connections, where professional collaborations, friendships, and shared projects can create unexpected links between people who might otherwise appear unrelated. When those connections become part of public discourse, they often spark new waves of speculation, curiosity, and debate as audiences attempt to map out the relationships and timelines involved. The result is a layered story that feels less like a single event and more like an unfolding tapestry of moments, conversations, and reactions, each contributing to the overall sense of suspense. Another important aspect of this stage in the narrative is the role of interpretation. Because recordings and messages are often shared without the full context of surrounding conversations, audiences are left to fill in the gaps using their own assumptions, experiences, and perspectives. This process can lead to a wide range of interpretations, some sympathetic, some critical, and some simply curious, and the coexistence of these viewpoints adds to the complexity of the discussion. Rather than reaching a single consensus, the story becomes a collection of parallel narratives, each shaped by the way individuals interpret the available information. This multiplicity of perspectives keeps the conversation alive because it ensures that new angles and theories continue to emerge. Even when no new facts are introduced, the cycle of interpretation, discussion, and reaction becomes a driving force that sustains public interest and encourages ongoing engagement with the story. The renewed attention surrounding the recording also highlights the speed at which online conversations can evolve. Once the topic began trending again, it quickly spread across platforms, drawing in audiences who may not have followed the earlier coverage but were intrigued by the sudden surge of discussion. This influx of new viewers brought fresh questions and new interpretations, which in turn fueled additional articles, videos, and commentary, creating a feedback loop that kept the story moving forward. The rapid pace of the cycle demonstrates how modern media ecosystems thrive on momentum, where each new wave of attention builds upon the last, creating an ever-expanding circle of awareness. The situation has become a clear example of how digital platforms can amplify a story far beyond its original scope, transforming isolated moments into shared cultural conversations that reach audiences around the world. At the same time, the resurfacing of past content has sparked reflection about privacy, professionalism, and the changing nature of public discourse. Many observers have noted how quickly private conversations can become public, and how easily archived material can re-enter the spotlight. Once public interest shifts, this awareness adds another layer of tension to the narrative, because it reminds audiences that the boundaries between private and public life are increasingly fluid, especially for those in the entertainment industry. The idea that any past moment could resurface at any time contributes to the sense of unpredictability that surrounds the story and reinforces the suspense that keeps viewers engaged. As discussions continue to unfold, the recording has become more than just a piece of audio. It has become a symbol of how narratives evolve in the digital age, where context, timing, and public interest combine to shape the way stories are told and retold over time. The ongoing conversation demonstrates that in today's media landscape, a story rarely ends with a single headline. Instead, it continues to grow and transform as new audiences discover it, new interpretations emerge, and new connections are drawn between past and present moments, creating a narrative that feels constantly in motion and full of possibilities for the chapters still to come.